I believe that everyone has a role to play in sexual violence prevention, like individuals from you and me to small businesses, right up to large organisations and government institutions, whether that's local government or central government.
We know that planning to prevent sexual violence after an emergency is the right thing to do. Studies show, and we know it from events around the world and around New Zealand, that sexual and domestic violence increase after an emergency. So having mechanisms and plans in place to prevent this is really important. At WREMO, we've implemented training, partnerships and shelter design, which will help to mitigate the risks of sexual violence after an emergency.
And that's because of the stress that people are experiencing because of unstable housing or being in mass accommodation, or just kind of all of the things that make this a really unstable and stressful time for everyone. So what I've been doing with WREMO is looking at their Emergency Assistance Centre guidelines and their mass accommodation guidelines, reviewing those from a sexual violence prevention lens and giving some recommendations on what they can do before and during emergencies to make their services and their centres safer for the communities that are using them.
Tallulah's expertise helped us bring trauma-informed practices into our planning and also train our staff to be able to handle disclosures sensitively and safely.
I also presented to their welfare managers forum. So those are the people who would manage the welfare function in an emergency, which is really looking for that community care and looking after community needs. So I presented to them about sexual violence in emergencies and what they can do to add some prevention aspects to their work. So putting it in those guidelines means it's going to be there going forward for WREMO as part of their standard operating procedure.
If something were to happen after an emergency, we know that our staff are trained appropriately to keep people safe as possible.